The dining room was quiet as my family gathered for what was supposed to be a planning dinner. Mom had been talking about this beach vacation for months. Everyone was excited, except apparently my 8-year-old daughter wasn't welcome anymore. "We need to talk about the sleeping arrangements," Mom said. "The villa only has 4 bedrooms, and with your brother bringing his new girlfriend, we're tight on space." My daughter sat beside me, coloring quietly, completely unaware of what was coming. "I think it would be best if Emma stayed home this time," Mom said, not even looking at my daughter as she spoke. "She's young. She won't remember it anyway, and honestly the activities we have planned are more adult-oriented." The table went silent. My sister looked down at her plate. My brother shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. "You're asking me to leave my daughter behind?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "It's not personal, but let's be realistic. We're planning wine tastings, late dinners, water sports. A child would just slow us down. Plus, the photos would look better without coordinating around nap times." "She doesn't have tantrums," I said quietly. "And she's been looking forward to this." Dad cleared his throat. "Your mother has a point. This is supposed to be sophisticated. Maybe Emma would be more comfortable at home." My daughter's hands stopped moving across the page. She understood enough to know they were talking about her, even if she didn't grasp the full cruelty of it. "Remove your child from the vacation," Mom declared, setting down her glass with finality. "She doesn't fit with our image. We're trying to create a certain atmosphere, and having a child there would ruin the aesthetic we're going for." Emma's eyes started to well up. She looked at me, confused and hurt. I smiled gently at her, then pulled out my phone. "I understand. Let me just make a quick call." Mom looked satisfied, assuming I was calling a babysitter. My brother started discussing excursions. My sister finally looked up, relieved. I dialed the resort while everyone resumed eating. "Hello, Seaside Vista Resort? This is regarding reservation 847293. I need to process a full refund on the booking." The chatter stopped. "Yes, the entire reservation. The villa rental, all activity packages, the welcome dinner, everything." Mom's fork clattered against her plate. "Refund what?" I held up one finger, continuing my conversation with the resort representative. "No, there's no problem with your service. It's a family matter. Yes, I understand there's a cancellation fee for the activities. That's fine. Please proceed with processing the refund for the remaining amount." "What are you doing?" Dad demanded, his face reddening. I ended the call and opened my banking app, showing my mother the screen. The transaction was clearly visible. A $3,000 deposit to Seaside Vista Resort with my name on the payment. "That's the deposit I put down 3 months ago," I explained. "The remaining $8,400 was due next week. I was going to pay that too." Mom's face went pale. "You paid for the villa?" "The villa, the activities, the transfers, the welcome dinner. All of it. I wanted to do something special for your retirement. I was going to cover everything." My brother's girlfriend looked between everyone, clearly confused about what was happening. My sister had gone very pale. Wait a minute," Dad started, but I continued. "The resort is processing the refund. It should be back in my account within a week. Without the booking, there's no vacation. You can't just cancel it." Mom's voice rose. "We've been planning this for months." "You have been planning," I agreed. "But I was paying. And since my daughter doesn't fit your image, I assumed you'd prefer to make other arrangements." My brother finally spoke. "This is insane. You're canceling everyone's vacation because Mom suggested Emma stay home." "Mom didn't suggest. She declared. She told me to remove my child from a trip I was funding because an 8-year-old doesn't match the atmosphere she wants." Emma had stopped crying and was watching the adults. I squeezed her hand reassuringly. "How much did you say the total cost was?" my sister asked quietly. "The deposit was $3,000. The remaining balance would have been another $8,400, so $11,400 total for the week. That covered the 4-bedroom villa, all the activity passes, the meal package and transportation." Dad's jaw tightened. "And you were going to pay all of that?" I thought it would be a nice gift for Mom's retirement. A chance for the whole family to make memories together. But apparently not the whole family is welcome to make those memories. Mom's hands were shaking as she reached for her wine glass. "I didn't know you were paying for it. I thought we were all splitting the cost." You never asked who was paying, I pointed out. You just started planning activities and announcing sleeping arrangements. Arrangements that didn't include my daughter. We can figure this out, Dad said, his tone shifting to the one he used when negotiating business deals. Let's not be hasty. Maybe we can adjust the plans to be more kid-friendly. I shook my head. The refund is already processing. The reservation will be cancelled by morning. Call them back, Mom demanded. Tell them it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, I replied. You made it very clear that Emma isn't welcome. I'm simply respecting your wishes by ensuring she won't be somewhere she doesn't fit in. My brother leaned forward. Maybe Mom was out of line, but you're punishing all of us. I was looking forward to this. Were you? Because when Mom told me to leave my daughter behind, you didn't say a word. None of you did. The silence confirmed everything. My sister finally spoke. I didn't know what to say. You could have said it was wrong, that this was supposed to be a family vacation and Emma is family. But you didn't. Mom set down her wine glass and I could see her mind working, trying to find an angle. What if we apologize? What if we promise Emma can come and we'll plan activities she'll enjoy? The refund is already processing, I repeated. And honestly, even if I could reverse it, I wouldn't want to. This dinner showed me exactly how you all view my daughter. She's an inconvenience, something that ruins your aesthetic. That's not an environment I want her in for a week, beach or no beach. You're being unreasonable, Dad argued. You're throwing away a $12,000 vacation over a simple disagreement. An $11,400 vacation, I corrected. And it wasn't a disagreement. It was my mother telling me my child wasn't good enough to join the family trip. That's not something I'm going to compromise on. Emma tugged on my sleeve. Mom, can we go home now? Of course, sweetheart. I stood up, gathering our things. We have some planning of our own to do. Planning for what? My brother asked. Well, I'll be getting my $3,000 deposit back in a week. That's enough for a nice mother-daughter trip. Maybe we'll go to that water park Emma's been asking about. Or maybe we'll do our own beach vacation, just the two of us. Somewhere she's actually wanted. Mom's face went from pale to red. You're really doing this? I really am, I confirmed. You taught me something important tonight, Mom. You taught me that you value appearances and sophistication more than you value your granddaughter. That's good information to have. I took Emma's hand and headed toward the door. Wait, my sister called out. What are we supposed to do now? Some of us already requested time off work. I paused at the doorway. I guess you'll do what I would have had to do if I'd followed Mom's demand. You'll figure it out on your own. Maybe you can all pool your money and book something else. I'm sure you can find a nice villa that fits your image. It just won't be the one I was paying for. This is ridiculous. Mom stood up, her chair scraping against the floor. You can't hold the entire family hostage because your feelings got hurt. I'm not holding anyone hostage, I said calmly. I'm simply choosing not to fund a vacation that my daughter isn't welcome on. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. As Emma and I walked to the car, I could hear raised voices starting in the dining room. My phone began buzzing before we even pulled out of the driveway. First my sister, then my brother, then my father. I let them all go to voicemail. Emma was quiet on the drive home, processing everything that had happened. Mom, she finally asked. Why didn't Grandma want me to go on the trip? I chose my words carefully. Sometimes grown-ups make bad decisions and say hurtful things. What Grandma said wasn't okay and I wasn't going to let her treat you that way. But now nobody gets to go on the vacation. That's right. But you know what? We're going to plan our own adventure, just you and me. Would you like that? Her face brightened a little. Really? Really? We can go anywhere you want. Beach, mountains, theme park. Your choice. By the time we got home, I had 17 missed calls and a dozen text messages. My brother's was particularly entitled, Mom's crying. Hope you're happy. Just call the resort back and fix this. My sister's was more measured but equally manipulative. I understand you're upset, but this affects all of us. Can we please talk about this like adults? My dad's was the most revealing. Your mother didn't mean it the way it sounded. She's just stressed about the planning. Don't throw away money out of spite. Not one of them acknowledged that what Mom said was wrong. Not one of them apologized on her behalf, or their own. They were only concerned about losing their vacation. I texted my brother back. The resort has my decision. Enjoy your summer at home. To my sister, I did talk about it like an adult. I made an adult decision not to fund a trip my daughter was excluded from. To my dad, this isn't about spite. It's about self-respect, something I'm teaching Emma by showing her she doesn't have to accept being treated as less than. The next morning, I received a confirmation email from Seaside Vista Resort. The reservation had been canceled. The refund minus a $400 cancellation fee for the activity packages would be processed within a week. My phone rang. It was Mom. The resort sent me a cancellation notice, she said, her voice tight. This is really happening? It really is. I think you're overreacting. And I think you told me to exclude my daughter from a family vacation because she doesn't fit your image. So we're at an impasse. What do you want from me? Mom asked, frustration clear in her tone. Do you want me to beg? I want you to understand why what you said was wrong. I want you to genuinely care that you hurt your granddaughter's feelings. But I don't think you do. I think you're just upset about losing the vacation. There was a long pause. Maybe I was a bit harsh. A bit harsh, I repeated. You told me to remove my child from a trip I was paying for because she doesn't fit your image. That's not harsh. That's cruel. She's 8. She won't even remember this by next month. And there was the real problem. Mom genuinely didn't think what she'd said was wrong. Goodbye, Mom. When you figure out why this is a problem, we can talk. Until then, Emma and I have our own vacation to plan. I hung up before she could respond. That afternoon, Emma and I sat together with a tablet looking at family-friendly resorts. We found a beach resort about 4 hours away with a kids' club, water slides, and a dolphin encounter program. The week-long package was $2,200, well within the refund I'd be getting. This one. Emma pointed excitedly at the dolphins. Can we really go here? We really can, I confirmed and booked it right then. My family continued to call and text for the next few days, but their messages revealed their real priorities. They were angry about the canceled vacation, not remorseful about how they'd treated Emma. My mother never actually apologized. She just kept insisting I was overreacting and being selfish. The irony wasn't lost on me. When the refund hit my account, I took a screenshot and sent it to the family group chat, along with a photo of Emma's face when I told her about our dolphin encounter. The caption was simple: having a much better vacation with someone who actually wants me there. My sister replied, that's petty. I wrote back, no. What's petty is excluding an 8-year-old from a family trip because she doesn't match your aesthetic. What I'm doing is called having standards. Then I muted the group chat and focused on packing for our trip. Emma and I had the best vacation. We built sandcastles, swam with dolphins, ate ice cream for breakfast one day just because we could. There were no wine tastings or sophisticated dinners, no worrying about perfect photos or maintaining appearances. It was just a mother and daughter enjoying time together, which is what a family vacation should have been all along. When we got back, I posted photos online. My mother commented, looks like you had fun without us. I replied simply, we did. Thanks for the opportunity. Sometimes the best response to being excluded is to show them exactly what they're missing out on. And sometimes that lesson costs $11,400. But it's worth every penny when you're teaching your daughter that she's worth standing up for. My family eventually planned their own trip, splitting the costs between them. From what I heard through my sister, it was stressful, expensive, and nowhere near as nice as what I had booked. Perfect. As for Emma and me, we've already started planning next year's vacation. Just the two of us again. Because we learned something important from this experience. Sometimes the best family is the one you choose to prioritize, and the best revenge is living well without the people who don't value you. Mom never did understand what she did wrong. But Emma understood that her mother would always choose her, always protect her, and always make sure she knew she was valued. And that lesson was worth more than any vacation could ever be.